Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Mustafa.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Okay, very good afternoon to everyone. A warm welcome and thank you for joining us today on this webinar. My name is Gurudeep Ramakrishna and I lead digital marketing at NESL. Um, for those of you who made it on time at 3 o'clock, we appreciate this. We'd like to just give another 5 more minutes. There are quite a few people just coming in. So we will start on the dot at 3:05 and we'll appreciate your patience until then. Stay connected. Thank you. For those of you all who have joined just now, a very warm welcome on behalf of NESL. We are just waiting for a few more people to join in. We're planning to start at 3:05 on the dot. Thank you for your patience. We'll see you soon. Great. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Those of you who joined on time, thank you for your patience. It's 3:05 now, so we'll get started on this session. Um, Once again, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to everybody who's joined us on this webinar. My name is Gurudeep, and I lead digital marketing at NESL. Um, Once again, the topic for the webinar today is the role of information utility in debt resolution for financial creditors. I'd like to welcome NESL's MD and CEO, Sri Debajyoti Ray Chaudhary, our Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer, Dr. Mustafa Shiaji, along with other team members from NESL. I'm also pleased to introduce our speakers for today, Suparna Chaudhary, DVP Operations, Ms. Shobha Rani, Ms. Nitya Kalyani, Mr. Sudarshan Gupta, and Suyo Kakur. Now, before we begin, here are a few quick things to keep in mind. This session is for 60 minutes. And we intend to cover most of the session through presentations and demonstrations on various aspects of IU. Especially the session is also planned for you to understand the steps to be followed and what are the procedures to be followed. Now, during this session, as we are presenting, you might have a lot of questions. We'd like to encourage you to use the Q&A box or the chat box available on the top of your screen. The last 15 minutes will be dedicated for a Q&A session, and we'll be happy to answer a lot of your questions. I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions. As and when they come, you can just use the chat box and put your messages there. You can also use the hand symbol. This is to raise your hand. During the Q&A session, we will also unmute you so you can ask your questions. So you can choose either between a chat, posting your question or raising your hand, but we'll answer. We may in the past, as we've seen, we receive a lot of questions and we may overshoot some of the questions. And if we are unable to answer this, a transcript of all of the questions during the session will be put together with answers and shared with you. So if we've missed your question, we'll always make sure that we've answered it and we'll send it to you later. Now, without further ado, I'd like to invite our MD and CEO, Sri Debajyoti Ray Chaudhary, to set the context of the session with a few words. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. And first of all, welcome to all of you who have joined here. I see more than 100 participants, and thank you for your very enthusiastic participation. And I'm sure my team will make the session useful and important for you. The information utility, I would say, is a kind of national infrastructure institution, and its services are affordable and easily available. And we can all take the advantage of this. It has various objectives, and I saw the what the presentation planned is more on the practical side. I'm sure as banks and users, you may already be aware of the benefits, but in case you would like to know the benefits of this institution, so definitely do raise this point, and my colleagues here will address that. But mostly this is on the practical parts of it. My colleagues will show you the necessary screens. They will also do a live demo, how to access it, how to use the various services. I would also like to draw your attention to the fact that the information utility, that is National E-Government Services Limited, is a regulated entity, and its activities are subject to monitoring and supervision by regulator, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So that gives you that kind of comfort that there's some kind of oversight on our activities. And we are a purely electronic repository. We have a massive amount of information which is stored by us, and it's submitted across the entire financial service sector and even beyond. So we are possibly one of the only repository which has such a wide spectrum of information from the financial services industry, which could be banks, NBFCs, ARCs, debenture trustees. And one of the USPs of us, our repository is that it's very democratic in nature. It's permits almost anyone come and submit information to the information utility. So that is also very useful to you as financial creditor, because sometimes within the financial system, within the regulated financial services industry, you have many sources of information. But sometimes we would also like to know the behavior of our customers outside the financial services ecosystem, outside the regulated financial services ecosystem. And there, I think IU could serve an important purpose. And we also give you these alerts. So you can, of course, register, log in, and access information. But you also get ready-made alerts on occurrence of certain events. I mean, if required, our team will go through that. And so these alerts help you in credit supervision and monitoring, which is the need of the hour. And one last point I would like to dwell upon, because I hand it to my colleagues, is that since we have information of the banking system, NBFCs, regulated financial institutions, so safety and security of our information is extremely important. So sometimes you might find that certain procedures are being undertaken, and you may wonder why it is being done. And the reason for that is simple, that we want the information of our customers to be secure and to be accessed only by persons who are authorized to access the same. So this is actually these whatever the security safety measures, the procedural requirements which we may be required or asked to go through. So that is only meant to ensure that your information is absolutely safe with us. And as I stated earlier, it is once you know the system, it is quite user friendly, and our services are also very affordable. And this is a institution which is there for the service of our country, of our people. So do make use of it. And during this session for about an hour or so, our colleagues will endeavor to explain to you all the nuances of the system, how to avail the various services. The very fact that all of you have joined in such large numbers shows your interest in the system. So we'll be very happy to take you through all of this, how it works, how you can get the maximum possible benefits, so that we can help you in going about going about or rendering the services which you provide. So do make use of this session uh, to uh, ensure that all your doubts are fully clarified. And maybe if you if because it's already 3:15, maybe a couple of minutes overlap can also be permitted. But in any case, whatever unanswered questions, we'll always be answering later on. But you need not wait for that. You can, during the session itself, you can put forward your questions, and our team will be very happy to address them to your complete satisfaction. So I think that is all from my side. Thank you once again for joining this webinar, and thanks for my team for setting up this beautiful platform. And I see such a good response to this. So please go ahead with the session, and I wish all of you the best for the session. Do take the full benefit of this, and I think so. That's all from my side. And please go ahead. Please take this forward, Gurdeep.
So thank you very much for that, for those words, sir. Without further ado, I'll request Srimati Suparna Chaudhary to start the session and give us a background to NESL and the information utility. Ma'am, over to you. The presentation is up, it's visible, ma'am. You can go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. And it's a pleasure to be here to address the August gathering here. So I'll just give a brief background about NESL. So NESL is the first information utility under the IBC. And this is our shareholding pattern wherein we have like 12 banks, out of which four are the private sector banks and the remaining are the public sector banks. And we also have some shareholding from the insurance companies and one CSDL depository. There are various sections which are relevant under IBC, and there are certain services that are being provided in IBC. So the first one is the data services. The second is the DDE services. Next is the EBG and the NEAS. Today in this discussion, we will be focusing on the data services. The data services are pertaining to the information of debt default, and along with it, if there is a default, if you wish to proceed for any CIRP, then how you can avail the facility of ROD, which will help you in expediting the admission of your CIRP application. These are certain relevant sections, that is the section 7, that is section 7.3a, where it mentions about the record of default. The record of default is recorded in the with the information utility or such other record or evidence or default as may be specified. So basically what happens is when the financial creditor, as a financial creditor, when you are willing to submit the information of default, and following that you want to initiate one CIRP against that corporate debtor under section 7, in that case this section is applicable. Similarly, you have section 9, wherein it is meant for the operational creditors who wish to proceed for a CIRP. And in that case also, what happens is a copy of any record of default of information utility confirming that there is no payment of any unpaid operational debt by the corporate debtor, if available, and no notice. In section 9.5, you have the note, no notice of dispute has been received by the operation creditor, or there is no record of dispute in the utility, information utility. In section 9.5.2d, the notice of dispute has been received by the operational creditor, or there is a record of dispute in the information utility. So these are certain specific sections which are relevant and can be used. And then I'll go ahead. Okay, these are the alert services that we give. We have three types of alerts. There is a default alert, there is a CIRP filing alert, and the public announcement alert. So the default alert is an alert which happens like when a creditor submits any information of default with NESL, and immediately the debtor happens to get one intimation that there has been a filing of default on NESL. As soon as that information is received, the debtor, if he responds and authenticates, the data gets authenticated. If he is not responding, then there are 3 more reminders which are been sent in a gap of 7 days. And in spite of that, if the debtor is not responding, the information is categorized as deemed to be authenticated. We consider it as authenticated even if the debtor is not responding. As soon as this categorization gets completed, there is a default broadcast. That default broadcast is sent to all the related creditors of the debtor, so that all the creditors can get a first-hand information that there is a default that has occurred against this corporate debtor, and that the default has been authenticated. So this is an information to the creditor which gives an alert to them that yes, there is this debtor, it has availed an advance and it has gone defaulted. Other than that, the next alert, that is the CIRP filing alert, is an alert where we, from the NESL, the moment there is a file, if any of the creditors of a debtor files any CIRP application, at the very first instance, that information is being sent to all the related creditors, so that in case they have any information of default at their end, they can also submit that information on NES, on the RU. At the same time, it is also an alert to them that yes, some CIRP proceedings have started, and because it has started, so they should be careful about it, and if there are any claims or anything, they should take the requisite steps for it. After the application has been filed, there is a public announcement, because once the admission happens after filing, there is a public announcement that happens where the IRP invites the claims to be submitted to him, so that during the CIRP process, the claims can be considered, so that it becomes convenient for the creditors to come and file up their claims. That is the reason this public announcement alert is being sent to all the related creditors. Now, to avail these services, the process flow is that first you have to have a registration on NESL. After you have done a registration, because all are creditors here, so what happens is you have to submit the information. That information can be a standard information, even if it is not a defaulted one. You can submit this information of a standard debt, or if you have any default information, you can submit that default information. Subsequently, we at NESL, we have the process of authenticating the information that has been submitted. Once the authentication is complete, then the ROD issuance is being done. And all these informations can be accessed because of the registration. Through registration, we will be explaining you how the registration process goes and how you get to have your login credentials. So with that login credential, you can access the information at any point of time. So I'll just request Gurdeep to take it forward, and my colleagues will be explaining you the entire details of how the registration, the submissions, and the other procedures are being done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, madam. That was good. Now I'd like to invite Shobha Rani, who will walk us through the registration process at NESL for the information utility. Shobha Rani, can you bring up your screen and I'll help guide you through the slides. Okay, in the meanwhile, I'd like to encourage you all to use the chat box. Yes, Shobha, please bring up the presentation.
Sir,
I'd like to invite.
am I audible?
Just one second. Yes, you are.
Okay. Yes.
I'd like to suggest that please use the chat box to ask your question, and we can go ahead. Shobharani, your screen shows blank. Can you stop sharing and reshare again? Perhaps it's a small glitch.
Yes.
We're facing.
Yes.
The screen is visible. The screen is visible. I think you should change it into PPT mode.
Yes. Please move it into PPT mode. I'll do that.
Now it is visible, sir. Hello.
Yes, visible.
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. As informed by Madam, to avail any services or access information, registration is mandatory on NESL portal. So I'll explain the registration procedure. There are two types in registration. Means through online we can do the registration, and through offline we can complete the registration. Documents to be submitted during the registrations are PAN of the entity, and we need the digital signed board resolution, digital signed authorization letter, and self-attested employee ID card. All these documents should be kept ready before starting registration. If it is offline registration, means if the entity is willing to do registration through offline, they have to send the documents to NESL, to operation team. From operation team, we will do the registration, then we'll share the credentials. Uh, if any entity do not hold PAN, in that cases from NESL side will allot one yuan. For that we need some documents from the entity or any government department. First is we need a declaration copy from the entity that entity do not hold any PAN. They are not issued any PAN from the income tax department, and they have to mention the date of incorporation. Along with that documents, we need the board resolution and authority letter or any power of attorney and self-attested employee ID card of the user. Once we receive all these documents from the entity, we'll allot one yuan. That yuan they can use for registration and for EBG purpose also. Once all documents are ready, we can start the registration. This is the links for the registration. If you click on this link, we'll get this login page. Uh, in this, we have to click on entity or IP registration. If it is an entity, then prerequisite information page will come. What are the documents should be kept ready? It will show. You have to click on OK. Then the page will come to enter the details. First, you have to fill the details of personal details of the authorized representative. Means from the entity, one user will be authorized to do the registration. That person's Aadhaar details, Aadhaar name and date of birth you have to enter. After entering that, you have to validate the Aadhaar. Then the page will go to CDAC page. There you have to enter the Aadhaar number and OTP. After clicking on this submit button, again page will get back to NESL page. There you have to enter the entity details, means entity type, entity subtype, entity origin, entity PAN, then entity name, date of incorporation, register address, billing address, and all details regarding the entity you have to fill, and you have to click on next. Then user details page will come, means authorize user details, designation, user ID, and primary email ID and primary mobile number. Primary email ID and primary mobile number are mandatory since we are sending all communications to those only, and they will receive the passcode also to primary email ID and primary mobile number. Then the supporting documents user has to upload. If the digital signature of the user is available, they can upload the digital signature also. Once all documents uploaded, then you can click on a submit button. Then uh, click on register. You will receive one 19-digit registration request reference number. Along with that, you will receive the passcode, 8-digit passcode to your register email and mobile number. First 4 digit will receive in email, and last 4 digit you will receive it in your mobile number. Both you have to enter. You have to verify the passcode. Then registration will come to operation team, and from there we'll check the details and documents. If all details and documents are correct, we'll approve the registration. Once registration is approved, user can log in. This is the intimation mail, registration mail, how it goes to the user. We can do the registration through DSE also, digital signature dongle. First, you have to export the Ambridge to your system. Then you have to export the digital signature to your system. Then you upload the DSE here. Then click on digital signature. Then enter the details here. Then click on sign. After that, you can complete the same procedure what I have explained for normal registration through Aadhaar. This is the offline registration format. If any entity needs to create user through offline, this is the format. They have to fill all these details and they have to share the documents to operation team. Will do the registration. These are the documents to be submitted by the entity for offline registration. Who are having a PAN, those entities has to say share the offline registration format, board resolution, authority letter, ID card, and entity PAN copy. Entities who are not having a PAN, they have to share the declaration copy, then the offline registration format, board resolution, authority letter, self-attested employee ID card, and declaration for date of incorporation. That's all regarding registration. If you have any doubts, you can ask regarding documents or details. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
So Gurdeep, if you can just
Thank you, Shobha Rani. Thank you for it.
Yes.
So now over to Sudarshan, who will be talking about
Right.
submission of information.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am 1 second. Let me share my PPT. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, Sudarshan, it's visible.
Okay, fine. So I'm talking about submission of financial information from front end. So this is that after receiving that user ID and password, that whoever want to submit the information in our
Sudarshan,
portal.
just a second. Can you put it on slideshow mode?
Okay, is it okay? Hello, is it okay?
No.
It's okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about submission
Yes,
of
it's fine.
financial information from front end. So after receiving that user ID and password, that user can log into our portal and they can submit that information in our portal. So first they need to enter that user ID and password. And once you get into login, then this is the page will be first option. It will be shown here that user management submission, DDE, authentications, reports, all this information in top of the that page it will be appear. So in that case, first whoever wanted to submit that information, first they need to click that submission tab. In submission tab, then it will show that new submission. In new submission, you need to new loan. In under new loan, there will be a first this page it will be appearing. That first page it will be appearing. The type of debt you have to select the type of debt. Then subtype you have to choose, and then you have to select the submitter information. By submitter information will be auto populated. Enter the details of the debtor. Then there are so many text field option is there. You need to put that information like name of the debtor and the relationship as a debtor and address you have to put and PIN number, billing address, communication address, legal constitutions, this date of birth and SIN number, hand number, this and wherever it is mentioned that star marks, that is a mandatory field. Okay, so you have to fill all these details of the debtor and then you have to move to the next page. In the next page, that options are there that are debt informations. So in debt information, by default, it will be there financial information, and you have to check whether it is a funded, non-funded. Okay, you have to select accordingly. And security flag, whether it is secured, unsecured, this loan it is. Okay, and the debt reference number. Debt reference number, nothing but it's a loan number or contract number. You can enter the loan number or contract number. Yes, as far as your documents you can mention here.
and the date, contract date, when the date was started, contract was there, and then sanction reference number. If you have, you can mention the sanction reference and date, start date, and facilities name. Whether it is a cash credit or over amount or loan, term loan, these are facilities which is given by the banks. So you have to accordingly you have to select. And then the sanction currency, it's INR, and sanction amount, drawing power, if you have lending arrangement, these are rate of interest for how many years you have, 10 where you have given repayment frequency. These are all fields you need to fill it. Then go to next options. Then a days, number of days passed. Okay. This is the actually and then amount, enter the default amount. This is actually our default days of past due date, then amount of last repayment, date of last repayment, date of last EOD, and date of filing. If you have filed any suit, you can mention here. Or if you have any remarks, you can put here remarks, and whether the party is willful defaulter or fraud. That also you can choose according yes or no, that options. And after that, you can click submit button. Once you click submit button, it will be a prompt as a payment gateway it will show. Then it will be it will ask you to sign the documents. So in this case, if you have done that registration with Aadhaar, you have to sign with Aadhaar, or else if you have done with the e-token, you can select the e-token. Then it will go to the option who has done that registration, his information, his name, it will be appear, and then you have to click save and authenticate. If you click save and authenticate, then it will be then it will go to the successful submission, it will be done, and then it will ask you to make the payment. If it is a submission, doing a submission against the front end, then it will be asked the payment. You click the payment option. If you click the payment, it will go to the gateway option, and in gateway, you can make the payment as far as you can use the debit card, internet banking, or UPI also. And then you can make the payment. Once you make the payment, it will submission. It will be successfully done, and it will ask you to download Form C. And after downloading the Form C, it will be look like this. Whatever information you have filled, submitted informations, other party informations, and then after security information also available, and then you can mention default information. These are all everything. It will be appear in Form C. It is a kind of receipt which you have got it. Means whatever information you have filled, the same thing it will be appear in Form C. And you just go through once. If you after filing, you just go through that all the details which you have given, whether it is the correct information or any wrong information you have. So after that, once your submission is completed, then default was or default or standard information, it will be submitted in our portal. Successful.
Great. Thank you, Sudarshan. Those of you who may have questions to do with the submission of information, please post your questions. We've received a lot of interesting questions. We'll try and address them through the Q&A session. Now, following Sudarshan, I'd like to invite Suyog Thakur to talk a little bit about Form C submission on JSON.
Hi. Thanks, Gurudeep. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
visible.
visible.
Yeah. So now what we are going to discuss, like how my colleague Sudarshan explained the Form C. So what he has shown you is a via front-end method. Right now, what we are going to discuss is about how you can upload the same data for multiple records. So in bulk upload, you can do all those records at one go, including the default, whatever whether it is a secured loan, unsecured loan, multiple securities can be added, along with if there are multiple party related to the same loan, that same can be added via a bulk format. So we'll discuss about that particular format and what mandatory fields are required in it, and how you can fetch that data using your IT team. You can directly fetch this data from your database itself. So manual activity can be avoided for this bulk file format. So currently, if you can able to see my screen, we are currently at version 2.5 of our format. Previously, there were multiple formats in which the data used to uploaded, but right now we are at version 2.5. Around 90 fields are has been added in this particular format, apart from which 32 are mandatory, which has to be mandatorily present in that data. Then only that particular record will get updated. So firstly, we will check with the what are the JSON headers. So if you can see, these are three mandatory fields in JSON header section where you have to give it in what version you are giving that particular data. Currently, the only version, like the version is v2.5, and the other version is v2.5 IND. Basically, the data is same. IND is only used for the individual file format, where instead of PAN, if in case of individual the PAN is not available, you can give other OVDs like voter ID, passport number, CKYC number. You can give it in that particular format. Then type. So this is again a static value which you have to provide as a loan. And number of record. How many number of records, unique number of records are there in that particular file? You need to confirm that in this particular field. So for JSON headers, there are around 5 fields, out of which 3 are mandatory, and basically it has a static value where 2.5 loan and number of record has to be given. So this is just a description file which I am showing. I'll just show you how it will actually look when you open the same file or you fetch the data from the Excel. So if you can see here, there are total 90 fields which are shown. So here, if you can see, it is given this particular headers are the name of these headers are a little bit difficult to understand, but usually this is a JSON file, which the upload file will be the JSON file. So you always can see what does it stand for. So you can just copy and search that particular field here. So we will provide what is a displayed name, JSON file name, and what does that field name is actually in the description. Here in this particular case, if you can see, this is a communication contact person name. So again, if you can see in G column, it is not mandatory. So whatever mandatory fields are has been asked in this particular format, that mandatory field only has to be given. In case if the data is not available for this non-mandatory field, that is okay. We will accept that particular record. Now, so firstly, we will see what are these 90 headers. So, and what are the mandatory fields which are required for this particular file format. So here we'll start with the creditor. So in this particular section, only information of creditor who is going to submit the data has to be given. So if we can see here, we have the description and all this information of creditor in which the data can be filled. So here business date, UIN basically is the unique identification number, which is PAN number of creditor, name of the entity, basically the full name of the creditor, and the relationship to contract. Now here, if you can see, there is a list of value which we have provided, under which multiple option apart from creditor, debtor, co-obligant, guarantor, and security provider value is also added. So Form C can be submitted, no can be submitted from the creditor also, and from another related party also. So if some individual borrower or some corporate borrower needs to go under self insolvency, he can also upload his data as a submitter and put as a relationship to contract at the submitter. For now, we are going to only check whether as a creditor, as a banks, NBFCs, and all financial institution, how you are going to upload. So you are for you, all your entity, the relationship to contract under second line item here will be again static value which you will be passing. So in this particular field, your PAN number, UN number is basically the PAN number, a full name, and relationship to contract will be static. Post that, there are few other fields like date of incorporation or date of birth for individual and date of incorporation for entities. So this information has to be filled. Again, non-mandatory field. So all this information, whether it is mandatory or not, you'll be able to identify from this G column mandatory section. So date of incorporation, billing address, PIN number, telephone number, mobile number are not mandatory, but yes, if the data is available with you, you can always fill in. Then there are three types of email ID we are asking for the creditor. This is just to bifurcate what type of mail should go to which of your department. So either you can keep it same or you can keep three different email IDs. So in here, general email ID is basically all the alerts which are related to the file format. So if you're uploading a bulk file format of 100 records, maybe there is a chance that out of that 100 records, 30 records or 20 odd records are getting rejected. So that rejection mail, whatever records are getting successful or rejected, you will get an alert on this specific email ID where you're giving under email. Okay. Apart from that same list of file which you are uploaded in email ID 2, if some of your borrower are disputing on that particular data, so that specific alert will come on email ID 2. Same if the borrower, that particular borrower has defaulted somewhere else. So for example, as a creditor, you are uploading a data of a standard record, but that same borrower has taken a loan or taken a advance from some another entity and he reports a default on NESL. So that alert will come on this email ID 3. So either you can bifurcate, like you can give three different email ID or keep at same. So department wise for credit monitoring purpose, you can use the default alert, keep the email ID of your credit monitoring team. That will be helpful for them to analyze that particular data of default alerts. Again, all these alerts are available on the portal. You can always download it from the portal. But yes, a real-time alerts will come on this particular email. Next, we will go to the other party details. So in this particular category, if you can see, the list of value is given. So this covers debtor, guarantor, co-obligant, security provider, and assignee and beneficiary. So here again, whatever mandatory fields. So if you can see, this particular loan, this data is of one specific loan. So loan number works as a connector. So this particular loan belong to this many related parties. To define that, we are giving the same loan number against this loan number. Here in related party, if you can see, debtor and guarantor options are there, user like entities are there. So in this, whatever mandatory fields are that we will look into it. So in this particular section, name of the party, PAN number of that particular borrower. Again, for entity, PAN number is mandatory. Without PAN number, that data will straight away get rejected. So you need to make sure for any non-individual, PAN number is mandatory. Yes, for individual cases, we have another options like other IDs, in which voter ID, passport number, driving license, and foreign ID. For foreign individual, foreign ID can be given. So you need to in other ID type, you need to choose whether voter ID is there. For example, if you are choosing voter ID, then voter ID number has to be given in other ID field. Same if even if you don't have this type of OVDs for an individual, we are thirdly taking CKYC number. CKYC number is nothing but the CKYC number is basically the 14-digit number which you are assigning to that particular borrower. So that number can be given. So either PAN number for individual cases or other ID or CKYC number, any one of this field has to be mandatorily present. Then only that particular record will get accepted. Apart from the SIN number like customer ID, corporate identification number, again non-mandatory. If the data can be fetched from your system, you can always provide it. Then customer ID. So customer ID number which are given to that particular bank, borrower's date of incorporation or date of birth can be given, non-mandatory again, and the legal constitution. So in here, if you can see the legal constitution, there are list of value which are been mentioned. So if this usually we have this data can like this description file can be directly downloaded from the portal. If you don't have, you can always connect to your RM asking for this file, where a revised LOV list of LOVs we have provided. So in type of legal constitution, there's a code which has been mapped against every entities. So you need to use this code and map this code in that particular data. So for here, if you can see legal constitution, if the borrower is a private limited company, so you can use PVTL as a code and map it in that particular field. Okay, so this is basically a revised LOVs which you can use in this particular file format. Suppose that whether the borrower is under MSME, if yes and no, subtype you have to give. And if what kind of industries. All this list of values are provided here, MSME flag, whether it micro, small or medium scale industry, and then industry categorization if it is in agricultural mining. So based on that, you can map this code in the form C. Uh, yeah. So again, all these fields which you have to upload, update here. So all this information and mandatory fields like permanent address, registered PIN, communication address. If you want to send any communication, like in case of default, if the email ID is bounced, we are also sending in letters to that particular borrower. So whatever communication address you are providing, we will share it to that. If the communication address is not there, whatever resident permanent address you are giving of that particular borrower, we will share to that particular address. So based on this data, you have to fill this fields in which debtor section, guarantor section, loan detail, security, and default section has to be added. So here same fields which are mandatory for debtor are been mandatory for guarantor, like full name, uh, uh, PAN number. So here PAN number is given. So wherever it is mandatory, there only you have to fill it. So if you can see related parties address, this comes address, then relation to contact. So this data has to be filled in wherever the mandatory field has been asked. So this covers are basically related parties, other parties. And one more thing, you can add as many as parties as you want. So if there are multiple guarantors involved in this loan, you can add multiple guarantor. You can add multiple guarantors also. So if there is only one guarantor, you can only keep one guarantor, or if there is a multiple guarantor, multiple guarantors can be added. So the guarantor can be private, individual, based on the legal constitution of that particular borrower. So if in case of this is particular individual guarantor, and then there is a corporate guarantor. So based on that, you can add it. You can add n number of guarantors based. Okay, and then we'll come to the loan detail sections. So once the other party is done, like related party is done, we'll come to the loan detail section, under which we'll see what are the mandatory fields. So here first is loan details, in which loan number has to be added, which is a mandatory field. So whatever loan number you have assigned to that particular borrower, that has to be here. This is just a sample one which I am showing to you, but you need to add whatever the loan which has been given. Then old debt reference number, in case the loan has been shifted to a new loan number, then this field will be useful. Creditor location, business unit, RM email ID, all these are non-mandatory field, but yes, if the data is available, you can always give. Debt start date, again, this is date of disbursement. All the dates which are mentioned in the form C should be in DD, YYY format only. So here the varchar limit, character limit has been given, and the description. Then sanction currency, whether it is in INR, USD, whatever currency you have in which the loan has been disbursed or sanctioned, that has to be given. So basically using this particular file format, you can extract the data in CSV or pipe delimited file format, and then we have our utilities from which you can convert that file, CSV file or comma separated file, to JSON file format. So there, I'll show you that now, where there are three major utilities which can be used to convert the file format. So there's a CSV to JSON utility, JSON validation utility, and this third one is a signing utility. All the files which are there has to be digitally signed from that particular user. So for that also we have our separate utility. So these are three utility, web-based utility, and then there is an application also from which a Windows-based application can be installed on your system, and the same work which conversion, validation, signing part which you are doing from web-based can be done using the application-based also. So this is first utility. Again, the process is very simple. You just need to click on this utility. Make sure if you're using a CSV file format or pipe delimited, in CSV, as it is stand for comma separated, in any of the data, there should be no comma. So if your database has commas in various address or descriptions, So in that case, you can always adapt and fetch the data in pipe delimited file format. So that will help you to don't do any major change in your file itself. So here, based on the file format, CSV and pipe limited, you need to select. This is a basically web-based utility, the screen which you'll be able to see once you open it in any of your browser. CSV to, so there is once you click on CSV and click on submit, an API key will be provided to you separately for all the entities. The same API key has to be copied, and choose the CSV file which you have fetched or you have created for upload. Once you click on that, you just need to click on convert on JSON. So if there is no any issues in the file, a click to download button will be enabled. So you just need to click on that, and the file will be ready for the JSON file will be ready to download. Like you can download the JSON file. So we have successfully converted the CSV file or pipe limited file to JSON file, which need to be signed and upload. So once this process is done, this is how a JSON file will be looked. So it's a bit encrypted, so it is very like it will be difficult to edit it. So that's the reason we are using this file to upload the data on the NESL. Now this is just an example of a JSON file which I would like to show. Here, once that this is ready with you, there's a validation utility. Same, the process is very simple here also for validation. You just need to click on the link, enter the same API key and choose the JSON file and click on validate. So once you click on validate, there's a possibility that out of the 100 loan records, 3 records are been or 5 records has been some or other issues like the PAN number is missing. So that can be identified before uploading. So it can be seen like a testing which you are doing before uploading the data on NESL. So whatever errors which you are going to get once you upload on the portal will be you'll be able to check that loan records before only how many records will be getting rejected, how many will get successfully uploaded. So that acknowledgement file you can download it from here. So once you click on this button, a text file will be downloaded. If you can see, there is a text file which can be downloaded, and you'll be able to identify what are the issues in this particular loan. So if you can see here, I'll just show you a sample file, uh, how it will be looking. So here, if you can see under sample, loan one, sample loan two, three. So this under this particular loan in debtor section in field name PAN, there is a error which a code which we will go. The ER004 stand for the mandatory field which is missing. So you need to make sure for this particular loan, PAN number is entered. Same email ID and email ID 2 for this sample loan 2, error 23. So error 23, that means there is a invalid email ID for this particular loan. So that you need to rectify. So out of 4 records, these 2 records are getting rejected and 2 records are successfully uploaded. So here the same, once you sign this file and upload on the portal, same 2 records will be accepted and 2 records will be rejected from our portal, and same will be triggered to your email ID that how many are success, how many are rejected, and the same can be downloaded from the bulk upload section also of the portal. Okay, so all these codes, if you can see, ER mandatory fields value not present, missing key, this you can check this and rectify your file. Uh, Add all the missing data wherever there is a field which are missing, there is an issue with the outstanding amount or anything like that. You can rectify and re-upload the data on the portal using the description code and the ACK file. Okay, now in case 100% of those record are success, you will get a message that success, it's a valid JSON file. That means the file has no issues, and once you upload it on the portal, all the records will get successfully uploaded. Okay, now same, there's a third link which is used for signing. So now, for example, 100% of your loans are successfully like validated, but you have not signed the file and that same file has been uploaded on the portal. The whole file will get rejected just because the file is not signed. So you need to make sure that data which is always uploaded has been uploaded. The file which is getting uploaded has been like signed, digitally signed. Now we'll come to the so that this particular file, JSON signature file, there is a utility, again, a PFX key or a DAC can be used for signing the file. So here for the PFX, you just need to make sure, click on PFX, click on submit, choose the API key, choose the JSON file, and a private key has to be entered. So for a PFX, a soft token will be provided to you. That key has to be selected, and a passcode will be given to you from your vendor itself. So that passcode has to be entered, and click on sign JSON. Once you click on the sign JSON, click to download button will be enabled, and you will be able to download the file. Same goes with the PFX key, which is a physical dongle which you have to connect with your system. So in that, there's a few software which has to be installed as mSigner. Once you install that data or that software, you just need to again select the JSON file, click on sign JSON. Pop-up will be appearing. You have to select it. If all this validation has been successful or true, you'll be again need to enter the PIN and sign the data file. And once the file is signed, the option of click to download will be enabled, and you can download this file. Same, once the signed file is downloaded, you have to go to the portal under bulk upload, Form C bulk upload. You will be able to see that option of choose file. You just need to choose the file and submit it. An acknowledgement notification will be shown where the file has been successfully uploaded. So successfully uploaded means that data is not yet uploaded. So there are multiple files which are getting uploaded on the monthly basis. So based on the queue, it will usually takes 3 to 4 hours, or by day end, the file will get processed. And once the file is get processed, you will get a mail that out of 100 records, all the records are successfully. So based on that mail also, you can rectify that information and upload it again. So you will be able to see the status of Form C from here, bulk upload Form C status, in which you will be able to view all the files here, the status, whether it is a success or error. So based on this same, you can rectify the errors and re-upload the file, or if there is any issues, like the data is missing, you can still get that data from your branches or from your team, and then re-upload the data in the subsequent month also. So this is basically a data in which the data can be uploaded via Form C in bulk upload format. Yeah,
It was very detailed, and I hope many of you have got some answers, but I know there are a few more questions that have come up around that. We'll address it during the Q&A session. Now I'd like to invite Ms. Nitya to come in and talk about ROD and how to request for an ROD. Madam, can you unmute yourself and also share your screen?
Yes, yes. Good evening once again. This is regarding the issuance of ROD. After the registration and the submissions are completed, now comes the part of what are the other documents you need to upload so that the ROD can be issued. Documents are basically, we have three types. One is debt, acknowledgement of debt, and then we have the default. For all the proof of debt, proof of the acknowledgement of debt, and proof of the default is what we will be looking into for verification of the documents. So now for the purpose of proof of debt, you always have sanction letters, documents executed by the debtors, like your agreements or any other agreements like mortgage, hypothecations. All these documents will be categorized as the proof of debt. And please note, while uploading the documents, please upload the documents which is the sanction, which is the latest. Like for example, in your Form C, you would have said the debt start date as 1/1/2012. So we need a proof for that start of the debt. That is the first sanction. And then you have the last sanction also needs to be uploaded, which will cover all the sanctions that has been given, all the facilities that has been given to the debtor. So that comes the debt. Then next comes the acknowledgement of the debt. For acknowledgement of debt, it may be the statement of account, it may be the balance confirmation which which debtors would be giving to you, or any other form like any other letters or any other communications that has been submitted by the debtor to the bank saying that the renewal is required or enhancement is required, or anything which established that debt is already existing. Then we come to the debt proof of default. Proof of default, you have various proofs like the demand notice which you have sending to the customers, your 13 twos which you are issuing to the customers. Then you can also give us a proof the DRT orders, which is if it is decreed DRT order. Then you have if it is under arbitration, the copy of the arbitrations or any other which proves that the debt is default. But this does not cover only the default. It has to be, this default has to be communicated. So proof of this default is to be communicated. That proof is also required. Like when you're sending a default notice, the courier confirmation that it is delivered to the debtors is required. The mail, if you're sending it, mail delivery that has been delivered to the customer is required. These are what we are looking into as a proof of default. And one more thing we would like to add is that when you're uploading the documents, other documents or anything, please make sure that the visibility is there. The documents is completely. Sometimes what happens is the headers is the top portion of the document is not visible, or some documents are in a very tricky way. The clarity is not there. It is not readable, those things. And coming to the one more acknowledgement of debt is, like I said, statement of account. Statement of account, you don't have to give the whole entire statement of account right from the beginning to the end. The statement of account which shows there is a disbursement, the period of the statement which shows there is a disbursement, there is a remittances coming, and there is something like there is no credits to the account. So they just pick up the transactions, pick up that part of the statement of account in which the transactions are visible, and that part of the statement, that period of the statement which shows there are no any credits to it. So that is one. And please, one more thing is that in Form C, there is a column, there is a field which says proof of latest acknowledgement of debt. When you're giving any date of acknowledgement of debt, that proof should be uploaded. Like if the acknowledgement of debt, the last letter received by the credit from the debtor is, let us say, on 1st of November of 2024, that letter can be uploaded as an acknowledgement, latest acknowledgement of debt. And we have one more column in that is, if at all there is any enhancements or renewal of it, please make sure that the latest sanction, again I'm repeating it, the latest sanction is what will be required, so that it will cover all the sanctions, all the facilities granted to the debtors are taken into account. And for this, after uploading of the statement, after uploading of the documents, we have, once it is verified, if in case we need more documents, we will be updating you or will be requesting you to upload the same. Otherwise, the forms, we will wait for the submissions to be categorized. Before categorization, again, we also check the registered email ID of the debtors, email ID as per the MCA, as per what you have given, what is given in Form C, and as per the email ID of the email ID given in the MCA data. Once this email ID is confirmed, once the PAN is confirmed, once all the basic information which is confirmed from the that is fed into the Form C, and after the verification of the documents, we wait for the submissions to be categorized. Submissions are categorized. We can go to the previous. Submissions are categorized after the reminders are sent to the debtors. Reminders are sent to the debtor. Reminders are sent to the debtor first on submission, then after 7 days are given time to the debtors for him to dispute it, And then again another mail is sent. In case it doesn't submit it, it doesn't dispute it, another reminder one is sent. Then again after 7 days, a second reminder is sent, again followed by the third reminder, and each time there is a gap of 7 days is given. If it doesn't dispute it, the submission is categorized as authenticated. In case he disputes it, there is a dispute he has raised, then the ROD that will be issued will be disputed ROD. The second, the case it will be, in this case it will be a disputed ROD will be issued to you. And if the ROD is, if the debtor accepts the submission made by the creditors, then it is simply is categorized as authenticated, and once it is authenticated, the ROD can be issued. But now how to upload these documents in the system, there is a little process which Mr. Sudarshan will take over and let you know how to upload the state documents into the portal.
Hi, Sudarshan, will you be sharing your screen and speaking? Hello?
I will show
Sudarshan,
you
you're
the
not,
screen.
you're not audible. Can
Hello.
you share
Is
your
it-
screen?
Yeah, one second.
Is there something you're presenting, Sudarshan, or will
Yeah,
you be speaking only?
I'm showing how to upload the documents in the portal.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is the how documents can be uploaded in portal. The process is documents after login. There is an option called a, a submission. If you click the submission, then it will go to the new submission and new submission, then existing loan. If you have to click the existing loan, then you have to select the debt reference number, which is either loan number or contract number, whatever number you have given, the loan number, you have to click that. Once you click that option, then it will come top, it will show Form C, data submission and document submission. So you have to click the document submission. Then once you click the document submission, then you have to choose the file, whatever the documents, proof of debt, you have to select and you have to upload the documents. And we have to sign the documents. Then it will go to the next option to signing the documents. You have to choose that Aadhaar or else DSC. And then you can submit the documents and then upload it successfully again. And again, you have to come up the second submission. Suppose if you have a multiple documents to submit, you can upload it one by one. Maximum size of the file can be uploaded 5 MB. It cannot exceed more than 5 MB. So you have to make sure that all the files should be you have to keep that size of the file up to 5 MB only. And multiple of documents can be uploaded in our portal. So accordingly, you have to select this the proof of debt, proof of default, and last acknowledgement of debt. You can choose that documents category and sub type of documents, and you can mention the description and choose the file, and you can upload one by one. So this is that once you upload, and each and every loan number, you must upload the documents. So it will be a, once the ROD it will be generated, that ROD shows that all the documents contain all the documents, whatever documents we have uploaded. So this is the how the documents can be uploaded in our portal. Okay. So this is the way to upload the documents. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sudarshan. Suparna ma'am, any last pointers? I think we should also get into Q&A now. It's already about an hour and 15 minutes now. So with your permission, shall we open up the Q&A session?
Yes.
So we have
Yes.
quite a
I
few
tried actually
questions.
replying some.
Yes, we've tried to reply to some of those questions at our end, but we'll take the questions as and when they come. We know we've got a few people who've raised their hands as well. We'll come to you. We would start with a few of the questions from the chat box, and then we'll arrive at the people who've raised their hand. Now, first question by Mr. Karma Bhutia. His question is, why can't the ROD be issued automatically upon expiration of the 3 reminders period? So, madam, would you like to take this question?
Yes. So I would request you that there was a recent amendment that had happened on 13th of August 2024 or 24. And in that it was being mentioned that before the issuance of record of default, we need to verify the documents pertaining to the debt, the default, and also the latest acknowledgement of debt document. So until those documents are being looked into, verified, and until they are found to be satisfactory, the ROD cannot be issued. So that is the reason, though after the third reminder and the authentication status getting categorized, in spite of that, we will not be able to issue it until until the creditors supplement us with these documents. Only upon proper verification, we would be able to issue it. I would also like to mention here that time to time, we also find that there are
Ma'am,
documents which
sorry
are
to bother you, but
not
your voice is breaking up again.
relevant.
Can you try switching off your video, ma'am, and speaking, because the audio is not coming through.
Kindly please refer to those emails and respond to them accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. But ma'am, your voice is breaking up. Would you may want to switch off your video so that way we can hear. Okay, I'll go to the next question in the meanwhile. When we say, this is from Mr. Vaibhav Parade, he says, when we say that information is shared to related creditor, who are these related creditors? Are they creditors having exposures to those particular borrower? So, do you want to take this question?
Yeah, so basically, creditor, all the financial institution which is based out of in India has to be reported, has to report the debt on NESL. So as per the guideline which is given by RBI of 2017 and 2019, they have given 2 circular which says all the debt, all the creditors or the financial institution has to be reported on NESL portal.
Suparna ma'am, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, basically what happens is, look, it is a notification from the RBI itself. And at the same time, you know what, you get to have a trend. You can set out a trend about that debtor, like if he has a regular tendency of defaulting and then again regularizing the account, or it is like they have a default tendency, or they are maintaining their account in a standard way. So this actually helps you to monitor that. Not only that, maybe the creditor is the debtor is having a healthy account in in a bank, but maybe the creditor has defaulted in some other financial institute. So until you give give the information to NESL, you will not be linked to that debtor. So, and until you are linked to that debtor, you will not come to know whether he has defaulted in some other bank or not, some other financial institute or not, or if there is a CIRP application which has been filed against it, against that debtor or not, or if there is a public announcement which has been done and you have to file in your claims. So all these facilities come only when you have submitted the information related to that debtor. So that's the reason it is important that even if it is a standard debt in your books of accounts, but still you should keep us informed so that you can avail these informations, which will be early tickered for you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll move on to the next question. This is by Mr. Sandeep Kumar. It says, as I understand from the conversation, NESL facilitates for default. Then why should a creditor submit standard creditors details also? Why don't we only submit default related cases, not standard? And why should we submit standard?
I think I explained it in details in the previous answer. It's something very similar. So, even if it is standard, you should keep us informed so that you can get the early alerts and you get to have a ticker, study the behavior.
Thank you, ma'am. My next question is from Mr. Purushottam Mishra. His question is that once parties settle their dispute, how does the form generated for unpaid invoices to be withdrawn? Or in other words, should the user friend, there should be a user-friendly page to withdraw documents lodged?
Actually, I could not understand the question, what he meant, but there is no concept of withdrawing anything. If it has been settled and the information and there is no outstanding, or if it is a closed account, then you can always come and inform NESL and you can mark that account closed. So that will help. Or else, if the default is treated and the person is now having no outstanding or no default, then you can always keep us informed or update the information with a standard submission. So that can be done in that way.
Right. So basically, with this updation of information on the IU, the status will change from default or disputed in whatever case, and as a result, it will become a standard. Or in the case, if it's a closure, then it will become a closure. Now I'll move on to the next question by Mr. Sarvanan. In NESL for corporate credit card, bank is appearing as creditor. For staff credit card, the bank also appearing as debtor in database. Since both identities have the same PAN number, the NESL report is failing with the error 29. Submitter, debtor, and guarantor co-obligant PAN must be unique. How to proceed it further?
So
I
here
think some more detailed concern, but yeah, go ahead. So
in this case, wherever there is a duplication of the borrower, so related parties have been repeated in this such cases. So where for guarantor co-obligant, where the duplication has been repeated in that particular PAN, you can leave it blank. So for main debtor, if the PAN number is given, and for another related party, if PAN can be left blank, so that particular record will get successfully uploaded.
Great. Thank you for that. Our next question is Mr. Vaibhav Palande. His next question is, as per the market practice followed, the creditors are registering the loan details on NESL as soon as the date of disbursement of the loan. Is this right practice, or should the loan details be filed on NESL only after default and before going to IBC? It's a very interesting question. So
So if you are submitting the information as soon as the disbursement happens, it's a very good practice, because if you see, as per regulation 27 of IU, it specifically mentions that you should be updating the records at least within 7 days of the event happening. Okay, so if you were immediately informing IU, it is the best practice that I should appreciate it.
Great. Next questions. Okay. If the details of loan standard are updated on NESL, is it necessary to keep updating the same on a monthly basis as required by the IU rules, or should the updation be done only after default of loan?
So in this case, the data has to be uploaded on the monthly basis. So wherever the changes is happening, like outstanding amount is getting changes, or wherever the borrower information is getting changed, that has to be reported on the monthly basis. So for bulk upload, what we usually do practice is, as on that particular month, and we have given a timeline that within 7 days of previous 7 days of next month, you have to report that default. So if you're fetching the file on the monthly basis and reporting on the monthly basis, there's a chance where borrower will be also able to authenticate that information. He will be in loop where the amount is changing and the amount outstanding has been changing, and he will get an alert. Same, the borrower can authenticate that information, and wherever he is finding it, the information is maybe wrongly entered. He can also dispute on that data. So that is a group practice where you are uploading the data on a monthly basis, and borrower can authenticate that information. So he will be also have been in loop what is his outstanding, and he will be able to understand what data has been uploaded on the NESL portal, and as on that business date, what are the outstanding for that particular borrower. So it will be uh, like suggested that all the data has to be uploaded on the monthly basis. Secondly, in case of dispute, in case of default, again has to be reported. So if the default has happened today, within 7 days of occurrence, the default has to report it on NESL. So for monthly standard records has to be uploaded on a monthly basis, and for default, within 7 days of occurrence has to be reported on the NESL portal. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Suyog. Next question, we have somebody who's asking, is there any number where we can take help about registration? Absolutely, we do. Just bear with me a second, and I'm going to pull up a screen of all the contact details. Down to the next question by Mr. Dilip Chauhan. If financial creditor submitted Form C normally, but the debtor did not authenticate, then what is the process for auto approval?
So here for
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So here for standard loan, if the borrower has if the creditor has given the email ID, so firstly we will trigger that alert to the borrower to come on NESL and authenticate that information. If for standard there's no auto approval or deemed authentication, but in case of default only, where that particular borrower has been defaulted, we will send 3 reminders to that particular borrower after initial mail within 7 days of 7 days of gap between each mail, and post that even if he is not authenticating, that particular debt will be deemed accepted. So the status will be changed to accepted or deemed accepted. So and we will also keep a track where the email has been sent to that particular borrower, whether he has opened, viewed, or downloaded that particular opened that particular email. So that whole mail chain will be shown in the ROD also. So that would be useful where the default has been occurred, but for standard loan, it will be shown as a pending until and unless you are doing a subsequent submission. Yeah.
Deep, I think you have been on mute.
Yeah, Guru, unmute yourself, please.
Sorry. Yes. My next question is by. Oh, okay. So, sorry, bear with me a second. I'm just dodging some of the questions that we've already answered in the chat box itself. if yeah, okay. So if a new company is submitting data for the first time, then is UAT required? If yes, how to get the same done?
Again, here as I have shown you, that there's a validation utility. So whatever data you are uploading will be uploaded on the portal. There's a validation utility or a conversion and validation utility which will be helpful for you to check whatever data is getting rejected, or to do that testing. You can use that validation utility and extract the data and work on that data. In case if you once you are 100% sure that the data has been properly validated from that validation utility, then only you can move to the production, which is NESL on the NESL portal. Subsequently, yes, we have our UAT version also, so we can provide you that access also, where you can do a demo testing. Like you can upload the data, you can see how the portal looks like, and upload do a front end submission. For that, you need to mark a mail to our tech support at the nesl.co.in team. So we will provide you a dummy access and a sandbox version where you can go and do the testing. But for the bulk upload, you can always use our validation utility and use a validation utility, and post that you can upload the data on the portal.
Great. Thank you, Joy. Our next question is from Mr. Lakshmi Narayana. He says, we're facing issue in updating closed records. Please provide one-time solution update at our end. Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, perhaps you can get in touch with us, and maybe this is a specific case. We'd like to understand this in more detail. Our hotline and our help desk numbers are available on our website. I've just put the link up. We're going to pull up our screen to share with you some hotline numbers soon. I'm just getting that up.
With
We'll show it to
respective
you.
RM also, they can be in touch. So we have RM list also mapped to the
absolutely.
banks.
Yes, please also contact the relevant, the concerned RM for your bank, and they will also be able to facilitate and help this for you. All right, next question is, okay, so Mr. Dilip Chauhan says, is there any maker checker process while submission of Form C?
So no, so there is no forms for maker and checker form C. In case if there is any error marking, or you need to remove the error mark that particular data, there's a maker and checker. But for Form C submission, once the file is signed, you just need to upload it. There is no maker and checker process for this Form C.
Great. I have a question here now. Let me ask this question. This is a very specific question. Mr. Sahil, he says, when we upload data, the payment option doesn't appear, only download Form C. Tell us how to make the payment. Yeah, so can somebody address that?
So here, if the payment option is not available, so probably the bulk upload option is enabled for you. So payment option is only available where the bulk upload option is not enabled. So if you are going to Form C and you are able to upload the data without any payment, and you are able to download a Form C, that means your data has been successfully uploaded. For that particular data, if for the payment, you will be an invoice will be raised in the subsequent month. So you need to make the payment against that particular invoice for that particular data. But for wherever the bulk upload option is not enabled, there only the payment has to be done online.
What is which bank or FC you represent, Sahil? Get it through your RM, please.
Great. I'll jump to the next question by Mr. Saransh Raj. The question is, the query is, can we use both DSC and e-signature for registration, or just DSC?
Yes, you can use either of the things.
Yes. Right. Okay. I'm going to go to a few more questions now. Give me a second. Let me jump to some people who have raised their hand. I'll start with Mr. Lakshmi Narayana. Again, you've asked your question, so I'm going to allow your mic. Please unmute yourself and ask your question, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Gurudeep, before you do that, I would request to address Mr. Ganesh Pawar's question. So, Yog, if you can just help him out because he has a question like he is unable to use the CSV to JSON conversion utility beyond 5 records. If you can please help him out.
So for conversion utility, so what we will suggest, like if it is in specific domain, sometimes the domains, a bank's domain, it will be difficult for the conversion. You can use a standalone system for the conversion to convert the CSV file to JSON, but there is no specific limit. So if the file is of 100 MB, via a web-based utility via browser, you can always convert the file from CSV to JSON. In case if you are still facing an issue with for the web-based utility, you can always download a Windows-based utility, which is an application which you can install on your system itself. Use that application to convert the file from CSV to JSON or pipe limited to JSON. So there is no as such limit or limit on the how many number of records can be uploaded. Even for web-based, easily around 5 to 6 lakh records can be converted from CSV to JSON. But still, if you are facing the issue, we'll suggest to download the Windows-based utility.
Mr. Ganesh, if possible, you can also check it from your internal IT team and take their advice in case you are still facing any of the issues.
Or else you can just write like in case you can write to our tech support team. We can have a joint call with your team, and then we can help you out from the browser only how to convert the CSV to JSON from your side itself.
Right. In the meanwhile, on your screens, we have our help desk contact numbers. We also have a dedicated helpline for ROD. You may take note of this. We will also send this details to you on email following this webinar session. I'll jump to the next question. Our next question is by Mr. Arun Kumar. We are frequently receiving emails from NESL with content details of CIRP application filed against MSXS XYZ, whether bank should respond for these emails or is it for information only?
Can you please come up with the question again? I missed.
Yeah, so there the bank is receiving emails talking about the details of a CIRP application filed against a certain organization. So they'd like to understand if this is just as information or would the bank have to respond to this?
This is what I was talking about, the CIRP application filing alert. So the moment there is any application that has been filed against any debtor, immediately this information is being disseminated to all the creditors related to that debtor. So it is an early alert in case that debtor has availed any facility from your institution. So it is advisable you update the record and submit it on NESL. At the same time, it also gives you an alert that there are all probable chances that soon the case would be admitted and the claims would be required to be filed. So in that case, it's a preparatory time that you get. So there are 2 action points. First, that you just check and if required, submit the information of default if there is any. Secondly, if that person has availed any facility from your bank, then kindly keep yourself ready that in case of the CIRP admission, the claims need to be filed.
Okay. Next question is from Ms. Vinutna Raji. Her question is, do we have bulk payment option or wallet option to add money so that we can use for each transaction?
Currently, there's no wallet as such, but if the bulk upload is enabled for you as you are doing a data from the front end also, so every time once you doing the submission at the month end, in the subsequent month, basically, we have a billing cycle of first to a month end. So in the subsequent month, you will get an invoice against that particular data which you have uploaded. So again, for bulk upload option, only new submission will be charged to you, and that invoice will be raised in the subsequent month. adding money or any any wallet is not currently not available with us, but invoice will be raised, and against that invoice you can make the payment.
Great, thanks, Yog. We have a related question on payments. So how much payment is required, or what is the cost for payment for submission of claim? I didn't particularly understand this. I hope
So
somebody
if you're
can
asking
understand
about the
it.
data submission, where what amount of payment you have to pay against that data submission. So in our portal, under IU submissions, there's a fee structure which has been listed. You can always go there. So based on the category of the borrower, the amount has been charged. So you can view that particular section, or you can always contact your relationship manager. So they will help you out understanding the payment structure, and also it is available on the portal.
Thank you, Suyog. Next question by Mr. Nutan. His question is, sir, is there any charges for renewal fees? And what are the charges for uploading bulk data of all loans and cash credit accounts using bulk upload option? And do you need to update it on a monthly basis?
Yes, as discussed earlier, the data can be uploaded on the monthly basis. Same, the fee structure is available on the portal, or else you can contact the RM. So they will help you understand the billing structure and the billing slabs.
Great. Okay. So this is an interesting question. Supreme Housing. If any entry has been wrongly authenticated as yes by the debtor, however, the entry is in dispute, how can it be rectified in the system?
So there are two ways. Firstly, Supreme is a creditor or a debtor. If they are a creditor and they feel that the information submitted is wrong, then they can always error mark it and resubmit the information. In case Supreme is a debtor and they have wrongly authenticated a wrong information, in that case, they will have to wait until the fresh submission happens.
Great. Okay, I'm going to unmute a few people. Sorry, you were completing. I'm sorry. I thought
I just wanted, like, so Yog, if you want to add up something, you can add.
No, same. If it is a creditor, they can always error mark it and resubmit the information. In case of same as ma'am said, in case of debtor, they have to wait for the subsequent submission and post on that subsequent submission based on the business date. If the data is proper, they can validate or dispute on that information.
Great. We're almost at 4:45 now. We've gone past about 45 minutes of the session. So I'd like to jump to a few people who've raised their hand. And we'll go with 3 people who've raised their hand. And then subsequent to that, we will move to the ending this session. Anybody's question that has not been answered, like I mentioned earlier, we are going to address it and make sure we write answers to that, and I'll come back to you. So just bear with us. Now we'll start with Mr. Lakshmi Narayana. I'm allowing your mic. Please ask your question if you have any additional question from what you had already asked in the chat box. You have to use the unmute button to unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, we'll move to the next person in line. Vinuta Raji, I'm just allowing your mic. Kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Is there any API integration to make our NESL authentication through our ERP system? So that every month, if we integrate our ERP, all the details will be directly uploaded to NESL.
So data upload, no, currently there is no API as such, but always you can automate the process from your IT team. So wherever the data has to be uploaded on the bulk side, on the monthly basis, what you can do, you can write a script from your IT side where you can extract the data in the specific JSON file format or CSV file format, sign it and upload it. But right now, API flow of API, direct API integration of data, like for on IU submission on a monthly basis, is not available.
Okay, one more question I would like to ask you. Some of our NBFCs are reporting principal plus interest as outstanding debt. In that cases, actually, we'll consider principal as an outstanding. But some of our NBFCs who are reporting principal plus interest as outstanding debt, we are just disputing it. Is the method?
No, so if we have seen the Form C, the outstanding amount, the total outstanding amount we have clearly mentioned in the description field, it is a principal plus interest plus any another charges. So that outstanding will have including principal and interest, both will be including that in that total outstanding. Post that there are three non-mandatory field where they can give that information, what is the principal amount, what is the interest amount, or if any another amount has been charged, three additional non-mandatory field has been given. They can always upload that information in that, but the total outstanding will have both principal and interest amount.
Okay, but some financials are showing outstanding debt as only principal amount. Some financials are showing principal plus interest as outstanding.
No,
So we
as
got a
per
confusion in that.
okay, no, but as per the technical standard which is mentioned by IBBI, it has to be principal plus outstanding plus any another charge as on that business date.
Okay. Thank you for attending my question. Earlier, I have asked you this payment, bulk payment option. In that, you have mentioned that you will raise an invoice for the monthly transaction which we have uploaded in NESL, right?
Yes.
Uh, then, if we upload invoice wise, single invoices monthly, you will raise an invoice for the all the invoices which we have uploaded during that month, right?
All the records which which you have been uploaded in that particular month, it may be 10, it may be 100. That will be that one invoice will be raised in the subsequent month.
How you will send this invoice?
Usually we share this emails to the registered email ID, or else if you have provided any specific email ID, we'll share it with you.
Okay. For suppose I have made 100 invoices on 15th of some month, but I got an invoice on next month first week. If I made payment, then only it will be reflected to
No,
the
it will be
debtor.
reflected. The data will be always uploaded. If you have a Form C with you, the data has been uploaded on the portal. The payment will be postpaid, so that you can you can make the payment. So the data is always been uploaded once you upload the information on NESL portal.
Okay. When we are uploading, we'll have two options, right? Form C, with Form C or without Form C. So every time when we are uploading, it's better to select with Form C option, right? Then we can make a bulk payment on invoice basis.
No, so this is again this is Form C, and without Form C, I'm not able to understand it. So you're talking about the data upload only, right? Data front
Just
end.
bear with me a
Sir,
second.
if
I'm
may I
just
say something on this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ma'am, data upload and the payment are totally different link. If you are using our front end submission, you will be have to pay on the spot, and the data is get uploaded. If you're having the bulk upload facility enabled by NESL, then there is a postpaid invoices. So I request to mention your entity name. A concerned RM will be in touch with you to check which facility you are enabling, and accordingly the payment option can be discussed with them.
all right, Ms. Vinuda. I think we'll stop here. I'll move to the next person, so we'll get some other people also the chance. Sorry to say that, but Mr. Pawan, your mic has been enabled. Kindly ask your question.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Pavan here from JM Financial. Just a small thing, when we upload this Form C, right, there are frequent changes to these Form C submissions, right? Like the kind of data that gets uploaded, comma is not allowed. Sometimes it's other things are allowed, right? So there are errors, right? So once we
Yeah.
convert this into JSON, we sign, we upload, and then it takes a whole day for it to get uploaded, right? So I upload it. The next day, if there are errors, it comes on the next day, we come to know that there are errors, right? So is it possible that the sheet gets a auto highlight option kind of a thing where we get to know that what we are submitting is final, right? Or maybe there's
No,
a tag for getting this is, within an hour or so, so that it doesn't take 5 days or 4 days to finally submit the data to NESL.
No, but before uploading the data, you can always use our validation utility, conversion and validation utility.
I do. So that's the best thing we do. Like, we try to avoid things that you are asking us not to do so, right?
Yeah.
And basis those validations only, we are signing and uploading it. But the final file that comes in, it comes only on the next day. Suyoj. So that's the problem that we are
No,
facing.
so basically depend on the queue. So if there are multiple files are uploading, so based on the queue, the data will get processed. So usually once you upload the file in the first half, for like by day end you will be able to get the acknowledgement. You'll usually get the mail, the file processed by day end only. In few scenarios there might be possibility it will go to the next day, but we usually try to process the file by day end, all the files by day end.
Yeah, this was kind of a feedback. Well, in case you
Sure.
are, if we can get this a bit earlier, or maybe at the time of uploading. Also, on the one more last question. For the last question that was asked by Vinita, that we are also including the penal and TDS also as part of the dues in total outstanding.
Yeah.
Which you had rightly mentioned that we have to upload all the charges which are
Yes.
supposed to be done.
Yes.
In the overdue plus outstandings.
Overdue, outstanding plus any other charges. Yes. In
Any
total
other charges. So we include everything, penal and TDS as well.
Yeah, that's the RISE process which has been like in the technical standard. All the outstanding, the total outstanding has to be given.
Yeah. So yeah, correct. Agree with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, last question, and then we will wrap up the session. This is Keats, Keats. Keats. I've enabled your mic. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening, sir. This is
Hi.
Keith from Southern Man. My question is whether the digitally signed loan is charged in monthly billing, because it's already been paid during the digital signature, right?
No, no. So if you have already paid done the data submission via front end, and the payment option has been like you have made the payment, it will be not billed again.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. How it is
Thank you very
authenticated,
much.
sir? How will you ensure that? How will you?
No, usually based on the loan numbers, we are billing it. So if that loan is already been billed in our system, we have our system usually detects that particular loan. If it is already billed, we have a logic in place in our backend where if it is already billed, we will usually like that subsequent month, it will not get billed again.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Suyog. Once again, on behalf of our MD and CEO, Sri Devdoti Ray Chaudhary, our CSMO, our DVP Operations Suparna Chaudhary, and her team, we thank you a lot for this, for joining us on this session, for asking all of these questions. I'm sure there are so many more questions. We will take these questions up and we'll try and come back to you with a transcription of all of the questions with answers. In the meanwhile, we continue to plan to organize such sessions in the future, and we'll request you to also join us on those sessions, giving you more opportunities to understand a little more about IU submission, how to register, and help you with any formalities that you need. As we've already mentioned before, our help desk numbers are available on the screen right now. We will email you all of the details. Many of you also asked for the presentations, especially the step-by-step guides for, from registration to submission to ROD submission. All of these files will also be available to you guys on email that you can access. Thank you again for your patience and for joining us on this session. We look forward to hosting you in the future again. Have a great day and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.